All right, so we got our carrots, grapes, probably not gonna need lemon juice, pecans, blueberries, definitely from Georgia, absolutely. So these kinds of things that we're picking up at the store started somewhere on some farm. And when you think about success in the classroom, when you think about success on the field right here at UGA, it starts with these kind of things from Georgia often, and it starts with an unsung hero, and that's someone like Dr. Tracy Brigman. Doc, so good to meet you.
Nice to be here, thank you.
So this is the thing. Dr. Brigman is a professional here at UGA in the College of Family and Consumer Sciences, and she is preparing students to go out and be dietitians and nutritionists. And Doc, I gotta start by asking, those two words are thrown around quite often. What's the difference between a dietitian and a nutritionist, if I even said that correctly?
Absolutely, you did. So they are used interchangeably, but there is a difference. There are some great nutritionists out there. There are some great dietitians out there. For somebody to be called a registered dietitian, they have to have a 4-year undergraduate degree in dietetics, nutrition. They have to have a internship that's accredited after they graduate. Right now, as of 2024, they also have to have a master's degree.
Wow.
And then they have to pass a national exam and keep continuing education credits. A nutritionist can have something as little as 1 class, or they can have a PhD in nutrition. So while there are some great nutritionists out there, you have to do your research to see what kind of education they have, because it could be somebody who just calls himself a nutritionist or somebody who has a really great background.
And here's the thing, I bet there are folks at home that didn't know you can come to the University of Georgia and other universities around the country too and study those two things. Get a job where you're working with folks in the kitchen, showing them how to prepare food, how to consume food correctly, and then how to, well, preserve food when there's some leftovers, some extras. And Doc, that's kind of what I want to talk with you next is, so when we've got some extra food, what do we do with that stuff to preserve it correctly and get it ready to be prepared for later? So let's go there next. Well, I've walked down the hall to the Home Food Preservation Lab and run into my friend, Dr. Carla Schwan. Hey, Doc, so good to be with you today. Thanks so much for taking the opportunity. So we're in this lab, which first of all, many people at home may not realize there is a lab on campus devoted to home food preservation. And what kind of stuff y'all got going on right now today in this lab?
Yeah, so today we're prepping some produce for later on we're going to can. So here we have some peaches that we are prepping, and then on this side we have cucumbers that we are going to do some pickles. So with the National Center for Home Food Preservation, we do some research on emerging topics and hot topics, and one of them currently is the use of the smooth glass stovetop. And so it's currently not recommended for canning, and so we're going to be using some of the produce that we are preparing here today to then look into factors and how, if we can come up with a recommendation for consumers at home for them to use it. So we're going to do some preliminary research today here with Dr. Caitlin Kazuli, and we will be doing some research at Dr. Brickman's lab to then see if we can actually say, yes, you might do this at home if you follow X, Y, and Z, or no, definitely that's a no-no. So we are trying to do some research in the lab so we can get some information back out to the community through extension.
And that's what's so cool. You mentioned cooperative extension. You know, you can go on YouTube and Google and look up just about anything, but the credibility of that information might not be there. And it's cool to know that these folks here are studying this stuff to give you the recommendations on how to prepare that food most healthy. I mean, that is outstanding. Well, what I want to do next, first, thank you for joining us here, just at kind of short notice. I want to go and experience what some of the students experience here in some of their classes. And so let's slide on over to the kitchen and have some fun with that. This is great stuff. All right, so we're back in the kitchen, and I'm standing with Tracy in front of a couple of big knives, and I hope you're having a good day, and I'm hopefully having a good day too. Doc, tell me a little something about what I might do as a student in your program, whether I'm looking to be a dietitian or maybe, as y'all know, I'm more of a people person and I want to get into education. What's something you might teach me how to do?
Okay, so one of the biggest things that we do here in the lab is we teach knife skills, because that is important. It's for safety, it's for sanitation, it's for aesthetic appeal. You want your food to look good. So we have already washed our hands. Our cucumbers have been washed.
Thanks.
Before we do that, because again, we want safety. The biggest thing we do is we teach people how to hold a knife properly. A lot of people will hold it like this. They call it the pointer grip. This is not a safe way because it's wobbly. You don't have control. Some people will just hold it like this. Again, not enough control. So you actually do the pinch grip, where you pinch right below the handle with your forefinger and thumb.
Okay.
And then you wrap the rest. Yep.
Very
so
good.
then that gives you more control that it's not going to slip and cut yourself.
Beautiful.
You always want to make sure that when you cut, you have your fingers away. You want to make sure that whatever you're cutting is kind of, roll it around to try to find a spot where it's not wobbling too much.
Okay, got it.
And you put your knife down on the tip of the board
Okay.
and just, yep.
Oh,
And then you
look at
can move
this.
it along. And the goal, to make things pretty, you want to make things about the same size to make it look pretty, but also if we were cooking this, it would cook evenly. You'll notice that we didn't peel it.
I was about to ask.
Yep.
What's the deal
So
with
we
that?
did not peel our cucumber because there's lots of fiber in the skin, and a lot of the nutrients are right under the skin as well. So if you can tolerate eating the skin on your cucumber or any of your fruits and vegetables, it's good to leave it on.
We can at our house. It makes it, as you say, the brighter the presentation, is that typically the more nutritional value?
Right, right.
It's great. My wife will be so proud. These are the kinds of skills that students can learn, hands-on stuff that they can then take into the community or they can use in their own home. And Doc, thanks so much for today. Gosh, I appreciate you. I hope you all have enjoyed this. Thank you. You know what to do. When you're online looking up more recipes and tuning into the Farm Monitor's Meals from the Field every month like we always do, check out what's going on in the College of Family and Consumer Sciences. Awesome stuff going on here. And check out the Ranger Nick Facebook page while you're there too. And until next time, for the Farm Monitor, as I always say, I'm Ranger Nick, reminding you that enthusiasm is contagious. So pass it on. Y'all, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you right back here again this time next month. See ya.